Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. We're here to talk about the brand new cartoon stuff, Tales of the Underworld. I'm Derrick.
I'm Jack.
Chut chut.
McClunky.
McClunky! I don't know why I yelled McClunky like an old prospector.
You did it like it was Houdini. McClunky. I found it. I found the carbonite.
McClunky, I found some gold.
I found the cortosis. But yeah, so this is your first viewing of a Star Wars cartoon in the Disney era.
Yeah, because I watched a handful of the first season of Clone Wars. Which
Okay.
was pre-Disney, right?
Uh-huh.
So,
Correct.
yeah, that's all I've seen cartoon-wise.
How did you feel about this? Because I know, like, when we get to the other bounty hunter, you had seen her mock up in Clone Wars, and we're like, that looks like fucking garbage. This is a little bit cleaner.
It's a little cleaner. She does not look much better. But in general, it looks a lot better. It's still that same character design, but it looks much better. I mean, right from the gate when they're walking into this like pool area on Asajj's planet or whatever the fuck this is.
Dathomir should be Dathomir. These are the Night Sisters. This is
that explains
like their Icor, which is their version of the Force.
Okay. But like right from the gate there, I'm like the animation looks so much smoother than the stuff I saw.
Yeah.
There are moments where it's still definitely like cartoon, like things are getting thrown over other things and stuff, and it's very but it is a cartoon. But overall, I liked a lot of it. I thought it looked good.
Cool, good, because that means you're going to be able to deal with Rebels, and that's the more important one. If I never get you to watch Clone Wars, okay, but if you don't watch Rebels, I don't think your life will be as fulfilled as it could be, my friend.
So we start. One of these guys is Quinlan Vos, I find out, but my note says Dreadlocks guy and fake Obi-Wan take Asajj Ventriss to a pool.
That's Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos.
It is Obi-Wan, so it's not fake Obi-Wan. It's real Obi-Wan.
That's their animation of Obi-Wan, and this would have been around the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because this is obviously later. Because like she's turned.
This is in the book Dark Disciples.
Okay.
Which I definitely recommend people reading. I was a little annoyed at first because I was like, well, I know how. The whole thing is Quinlan Vos pretends to be bad so he can be Count Dooku's assistant and then murder him for the Jedi, which like there's a whole deliberation about is that right or wrong. It's pretty cool that they go into this. I believe it's Josh Lucero that wrote it. And then so him and Ventress team up together to try and kill Dooku. And like, right off the bat, that can't happen. So I was like, oh, that's going to be a bummer story. No, it's really good. Quinlan Vos is one of my favorite Jedi because he's just so out of the box. He's a maverick.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard his name before, and it was probably when we were talking about Obi-Wan and they talked about the path because you said.
And I think I probably talked about him in Phantom Menace because he's sitting at one of these tables. He was an unnamed character with dreadlocks and a yellow stripe. Dave Filoni was like, making that guy a fucking Jedi.
Oh, that's the guy. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So that's him. And he is big in Obi-Wan as we hear in this about the path.
Okay. But yeah, they basically they drop her into this pool and she like wakes up immediately, but comes out as a ghost and it looks really cool, or like a spirit of some sort, whatever. Yeah. It looks really cool, but they can't hear her. She's talking to Mother Talzin.
Mother Talzin, who, if you do watch Clone Wars, she's the leader of the Night Sisters. Do you remember in Ahsoka when they finally went to the other galaxy and there was like spooky looking Night Sisters?
Yeah, no, I remember the Night Sisters.
That's how like Mama Talzin is like that, but way better. Like she's super fucking powerful, which is why she's still alive on some plane of existence.
And I don't really, even by the end of this, I don't really understand the deal she makes. So it's basically like either you can join me and your sisters in this realm or return to the land of the living, and the cost is your heart's desire. So like
I
she's in love with Quinlan,
uh-huh.
and which that was my question I had here was like why is she in love with him? I obviously I missed some stuff. I know she's evil, but you told me a
Right.
little bit there.
Right.
Um
She turned to the light, or at least not dark. I don't think she's ever, I mean, she even talks about it here. She's like, I'm not a Jedi.
yeah. But like I just didn't really, so she can be alive again because she misses Quinlan, but she can't have him.
I
But I
also
mean, she
don't get
gets
it,
right there. Like she gets right there. If she got on that ship, she'd be with him.
but I wonder, would that make like the Force kill him? You know what I mean? Like, can't have him. I told you can't have
Well,
him.
like Final Destination style.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
really don't know. I don't get this. This is the first of the pact I've ever heard. The last we saw of her was that she was dead. Like
Okay.
that, like this is pretty much the end of Dark Disciples.
And this is because she shows up. You mentioned when we did the trailer episode, which you guys can find here wherever you're listening to this, that she's in Bad Batch, but it's
Yes.
like this version of her with the yellow
Uh-huh.
lightsabers and the hair and whatnot. So this is basically the connecting tissue in between those, like how she came back. Is that what
Mm-hmm.
we're okay?
This is, yeah, exactly, because they said her death in that book is canon. We're not going to mess with that. So they had to show us something, and I think it's pretty simple and pretty fine by me.
It's kind of crazy that like you have a character, and I know like the Clone Wars is like ancillary material technically, but it's a lot more easily consumable for the average viewer or fan than
Mm-hmm.
books. So it's kind of crazy that you take a character who, from what I gather, is pretty important in the show
Yeah.
and kill her off in a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
I
weird
think
choice.
it's because that Clone Wars cartoon got canceled before it really had a finished up arc, and then when Disney bought, they did one final season that's actually pretty phenomenal.
Oh, so okay, because I had heard that the last season was really good, and I heard there was a big break. I didn't realize it was between the purchase. So
Yeah.
they had canceled the cartoon already.
Yes.
And then when Disney bought it, they decided to give it a conclusion of
Because now they
sorts.
got Filoni, they're like, "What do you want? Give me your fucking send off. Give me your swan song." And the other
Okay.
writer on this, whose name I can't pronounce,
Oh yeah, we were just talking about it. Hold on, Michael or Matt Miknovitz. I want to say.
Miknovitz, Matt Miknovitz, who we looked up, has done a bulk of Star Wars cartoon writing and both
Yeah,
Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor video games.
he
Both of
was
those.
the head writer on Clone Wars for seasons 6 and 7. 7 is the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he is like credited as the main writer for a handful of episodes: the Citadel Counterattack, Citadel Rescue, a few others here. And he wrote a 4 episode arc about Cad Bane and Boba Fett, and another 4 episode arc with Bad Batch and Yoda on Kashyyyk, which was not
Okay.
finished before the series was canceled. So
Okay. We definitely get Bad Batch on Kashyyyk, but I don't think Yoda was there. I can't remember now.
yeah, it sounds like there was other stuff that they didn't get to include. And he also wrote a bunch of stuff on Rebels, and so like you said, he's in. I'm sorry, I'm looking at his Wikipedia just to see,
Uh,
and he started working for LucasArts in 2008, and did work on the Star Wars 1313 game that you mentioned before.
oh man, the canceled fucking game.
Yeah,
You're going to be Boba Fett infiltrating.
and apparently he also wrote, or he's writing on the upcoming Star Wars Maul Darth Lord, Shadow Lord,
Mm-hmm.
Maul Shadow
So
Lord.
he
So
knows these characters, he knows this universe,
yeah.
and he knows how to work with Disney.
One last thing, it ties into the Shadow Lord thing. Uh, he wrote a 4 episode arc that featured Maul, which, due to the show's cancellation, was not completed, but it was adapted into a 4 issue comic book entitled Star Wars Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir. So
Which
I
I
wonder if that'll
think
have
I
something to do
have
with
that.
I wonder if that'll have something to do with the Shadow Lord one. I wonder if is that the one that you gave me?
That might be.
Yeah.
The Shadow Lord one um should be about him running the underground.
Okay.
kind of circa, what is it, Han Solo, when he's in charge of the Black Suns. Is that right? Well, he's in charge of a big crime. I think he gets
Yeah. What I can't
in
remember
the
what they were
arc. He
called.
collects all the crime syndicates together.
Okay.
That's
I
what
mean,
one of the
that's the kind
things
of
in
the
the arc.
move, dude. You have all these like ex Moffs and whatnot in
Uh
like
huh.
the Mandalorian and stuff that are trying to like take territory and do this and that. Stop trying to run the government and become a fucking mob boss.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt that you're a fucking a death dealer. Like
Yeah.
this Maul is a bad motherfucker. So, I mean, when he goes in, he has a
I'll take your
meeting.
word for it because all I saw him do was get chopped in half. But
That's true. But he in I think it's in the Clone Wars when in this arc we're talking about, he has all the heads of the different crime syndicates at a table and he just fucking lightsabers their heads off. Or maybe his brother does, but either way,
oh,
they
I think
did.
I saw that in a Japanese like a Yakuza movie. Wasn't a
Ooh,
lightsaber.
that's a bummer.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Kill Bill
Hmm.
when she cuts off the dude's head that's sitting at the table with the
Oh
Yakuza.
yeah.
Anyway, back to Tales of the Underworld.
Back to lightsabers.
So Asajj basically she comes back to life to get a job as a security guard.
She likes the peace and quiet.
That's what she says. Yeah.
She just needs to find her purpose. Like she's gonna have a purpose. I think I know what it is. We'll talk about it.
Okay. That's what when this ended. I was like, well, I mean, we moved a piece from here to here, but we didn't really get like a full conclusion. I felt like with this three episode arc.
Right. We definitely did not get a full conclusion. And we know, I'm pretty sure the Bad Batch episode that she appears in is after this.
Okay,
And she
that would
doesn't
make
have that
sense then.
kid.
So because Bad Batch is after. No, that kid's dead. She put him in a basket on a bicycle and sent him
Wait,
over the
Bad
moon
Batch might.
somewhere.
The episode of Bad Batch she shows up in is after because like some of it's not after because that first early episodes they're fighting clones.
Okay. But yeah, so this kid shows up at this shuttle station she's working at. He's trying to avoid the troopers. Second episode, we find out his name is Lyco.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't mean anything to me.
I like how he tries. This is how Asajj finds out that he's a Jedi or he was a Jedi Padawan.
Uh huh.
He tries to like trick this lady. He's like, I need to get a ride and I don't have any money. Like, I only have a couple bucks. And she's like, that's not enough. And he's like, this is enough money. She's
No,
like,
it's not. It's not
no,
enough
the fuck,
money.
it's not. That's what I'm waiting for someone in one of these to do because we've had Watto who's
Yep.
like these
Jabba.
tricks don't work on me, only money, and then
Yeah.
Jabba and stuff. I want someone to be like, stop doing that.
Why you do the
Just
hand
wave
thing?
back
Wait,
at him.
doesn't somebody does that? You do the hand thing. You think you're a Jedi with the hand thing? Oh, that's Watto that says that.
Oh, okay, but he's just kind of like he's like, what is this you're doing with your hands?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. It's
Jedi
not
thing.
exactly what you're looking
I want
for.
someone to be like they're like, this is not the money or this is enough money for this ride, and they're like, no, the fuck it isn't, and wave right back at him.
The first F in Star Wars is gonna be sarcastic.
That would be the greatest use of fuck, by the way.
I kind of agree.
Go fuck yourself.
The fuck it is enough money.
That would have been a perfect line for Camille Nanjiani.
Oh yeah.
The fuck you talking about? But yeah, so the Asajj does try to kick the kid out, but these troopers are outside looking for him, and so she hides him because she knows he's a Jedi. She knows that. So this is. And let me try to line this up. So this is obviously after Order 66.
Yeah.
The Empire is still in power. So this would be way before, because I don't know where Bad Batch, I don't know where any of the cartoons
This
are.
is
So I have to watch
probably-
certain things. So this is just shortly after Order 66.
This is it kind of have to be with this kid, but it can't be too short after because we are looking at stormtroopers. So it could be a couple years.
Okay. Yeah, not
'Cause
clone troopers.
How old do you think this kid is?
I mean, I'd say early teens.
So let's call him 13.
Yeah. So so he's like what 10, 11 when the Order 66 happens. I don't know what the distance between clone troopers and stormtroopers was.
Right. I
So-
mean, fairly fast once the Empire kind of won
Okay.
because it was Tarkin. It was expensive. There's just 1,000 reasons. Well, 4, but
Well, we get Asajj doing the mind trick to these troopers, and we've talked about this. I don't remember what episode it was, Yeah, we talked about some episode where it's like, can you just do it to a whole group of people? Like, how is this one guy always getting fooled? But she definitely does it to this whole room because she's just like, there's no problem here. Go to docking bay 24. And the guy's like, you're right. There is no problem here.
We're going
You
to
should
go to Docking Bay 24.
24.
Check out that
And
24.
everybody around him is just like, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
no one's like, did you see that lady waving her hand? No? Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's just gleaming the whole room.
But on the way out, the lady who's running the shuttle station sells that kid out because they say something about a reward, and she's like, "Oh, money." So she's like, "That fucking kid's
gold."
Back there. And I did notice, and I'm not your normal Star Wars YouTuber or podcaster or blogger or whatever, so I'm not going to pitch a fit about it. But I did notice when she heard that there was money, she said, "They're back there," not "he's back there."
Well, because she saw her do the Jedi mind trick, so she's like, but cool, 2 Jedis. There's a reward for Jedis.
But Asajj is standing right there, so when she points to the kid, she says, "They are back there."
Well, I'm already a boy or girl. She's going with
okay.
No pronouns.
I'm just waiting for some. I don't watch a lot of them, but I would some Star Wars YouTuber to be like, "Oh, they said they."
Yeah, it's just woke.
Yeah. Talk shit about me on your YouTube video, please.
Like, they are back there. Yeah. Roast this podcast on
no publicity is bad publicity.
Fact.
But so Asajj and the kid, Lyko, fight their way out. She's got the yellow lightsaber, which
she used to have the twin reds.
Yeah, and I definitely saw her in something I watched. It might have just been clips I've seen. I don't know if she was in the show at the point where I watched it, but definitely red. I do like the little curved. She's kind of like the Ahsoka thing.
Yeah,
where like it's like
also Dooku
kink in it. Oh, okay, that makes
sense.
Trained her. Okay,
even though he uses the one lightsaber.
Well, that makes sense too. In a minute here when she gets in this fight, then I didn't realize she was a double.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the kid's like, you know anything about finding the path? Quinlan Vos did it. And she's like, wait, Quinlan who?
Did you say Quinlan?
I'm so goopy right now. Where's Quinlan?
I can smell his musk.
But it's too late because he's here. He being reptilian masked inquisitor guy.
I don't have a race for this. Maybe could be Nagri, but I don't know. They're a little too tall for Nagri.
Well, and I mean, they don't show a lot because he's basically in this scene. The trailer made it look like he was like a foil.
Yeah,
he was going to be in quite a bit. But it's a good scene. This right here is the reason that people complain about lightsaber battles in new Star Wars movies, or even when we did the Acolyte, we talked about how much we liked the lightsaber action.
Beautiful.
Recently, I was reading about how people said it was trash, but I think people just wanted to hate that show. But this lightsaber battle between this masked Inquisitor guy and Asajj Ventriss, and then kind of this Lyko bouncing around, trying to mostly getting in the way. It's top notch, like physicality, flipping and all this stuff because it's animated.
You have so much more freedom to do, and I mean, George started doing this in the Clone Wars because he was involved with the cartoons. I mean, where he was like, "Look, this guy can do this kind of jump because that's what he always envisioned. He just couldn't make it happen." You know, he liked that speed boost thing, but he's like, "That looks ridiculous."
I think this kind of stuff though is what's made people complain about later stuff that was decent.
Yeah,
and forget about the original movies because all these people complaining are kids who grew up who were 4 when the Clone Wars started, and they grew up watching that shit, and so they're like, "Well, why aren't people flipping around and doing all this stuff? I'm used to, like, why is he just standing there?" You know?
Yeah,
because it's a real human being. That's why.
Production, bro.
But this lightsaber battle is cool.
Agreed.
Yeah, I like this a lot. She ends up getting Lyko's saber and fighting a bit. She ends up losing hers, and she's a little more powerful than her because she goes to pull hers in, and he pushes it away.
Absolutely. She's rusty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who knows how long she's been back from the dead. She was not like super well trained by Dooku. I don't think he ever really thought that she was going to help him take down Sidious. I think he looked at her as a disposable tool. Most of her, like, she did kill some of the Jedis and stuff, but like, dude, she usually get whooped up by Obi-Wan.
Okay.
I think Ahsoka would fuck her up.
she's an assassin, right? So
Right.
I mean, maybe his thing was she shouldn't be in a lot of one-on-one fights. It should be
Yes. It should be murder that guy while he sleeps kind of thing.
okay.
And she was good at that. So yeah, I think it's a combination of the rust and the fact that she was never. I mean, like I don't even know if they use the word Sith for her. Like she's an assassin. She has red blades. She's dark side. But I don't know if she ever like took the fucking oath.
Okay. But this guy knows who she is because he's like, hey, I know you. You know, like, and as he's talking to her right after he pushed her lightsaber away, this fucking little baby child steps up. And the least annoying moment he has in these 3 episodes and stabs the fuck out of this dude with 2 lightsabers from behind.
We didn't talk about how like right away she's like, all right, dude, just shut up. Well, how do I shut up? I don't act like a Jedi. How do I act like a Jedi? You know, like he was jaw jacking the entire time. She's like, I just said shut up. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is that like adult and child road trip thing that you see in movies where it's like the kid is annoying, but by the end of it, they've basically Stockholm syndromed you. But in the movie, it's supposed to be sweet. Like, oh, you've learned to love them. And it's like, no, you've just been beaten until this is what you've now accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you lost all sort of resistance. You're weak now.
But they get out of there, they escape. And when she finally tells him who she is, because he's been asking, she says, I've probably killed several people that you know personally.
Yeah. Like I've killed some Jedis. Maybe your master. Who knows?
Have we got a podcast for you?
Bad movies, worse people.
I mean, look, you like getting a couple beers in you, watching a bad movie, and yucking it up with your friends. That's what we're doing. We have microphones.
We have great impersonations. We have bad impersonations.
I think it might be one of the best podcasts I've ever heard.
It's the best podcast I've ever heard, fellas, and I ain't lying through my giant teeth. There's a sample.
Yes.
You can find us anywhere. Badmoviesworsepeople.com. Come check us out.
If you don't follow us, we will follow you home.
Hey guys, I don't want to sound needy here.
I'm needy.
But we have a Patreon at patreon.com/worsepeople.
Mm-hmm.
And it only costs $3 a month.
$3 a month is nothing.
And I know times are hard right now.
Real hard for me.
Inflation's up.
Oh.
You can't afford your groceries.
Can't eat.
But you can afford $3 a month if you love us.
Give us $3.
Super love us.
Please
Yeah.
love us.
We're not begging.
I'm begging.
We're not pleading.
I'm pleading.
We're not down on our knees.
Oh boy,
I mean-
my knees hurt. They've been on so long.
But we do kind of need the money.
I need the money bad.
We need new equipment.
New equipment. We need to do remote podcasts for all of you.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need to have video.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need more drinks.
Food sounds good.
So please check out patreon.com/worsepeople.
Please check us out.
You get a bonus episode every month, and we're going to have more content coming for you.
I'll send you pictures.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Please give me more.
Patreon.com/worsepeople.
I'm being held hostage here. If I don't pay my way out of here, they're going to kill me.
I don't know why they broke it up the way they did. One 30-minute episode would have been just fine. And I think you'll say the same thing about the next.
I feel like maybe they were trying to come up with something, and they came up with these stories, and they were like, well, but we can't do... These have all been traditionally, right, like 15-minute-ish episodes for like a little story. And they're like, well, this story takes this long, this story takes this long. Let's just make it 2. They're both 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just like, well, we'll just do that. I don't know. Because like I haven't watched any of the other ones. This one did leave me a little wanting at the end, but it's still a fun watch.
Agreed.
But like, so they get to the next planet they're going to here, and I like that this kid's just like, yeah, but how do I know you're not just going to kill me when we find the path? And she's like, dude, if I wanted you dead, did you see me fight that fucking masked lizard?
I could have killed you at any moment when I could have snapped your neck the moment I saw you. Should have.
I could have just walked away when Lizard Man came in.
Yep.
He didn't want me.
If I know you're going to keep fucking talking, I would have let him kill you.
But yeah, she's just looking for Quinlan, and she knows that there's a bounty hunter on this planet that can give them information. And it took me a minute to get it. I think I got it out of the subtitles at Lats.
Mm-hmm. And I was wrong about the droid. I thought it was the one that has a little alien inside of it, but it's not. It's just a fucking fancy ass droid.
Yeah, this thing it speaks droid according to the subtitles. and it doesn't have a name.
Yeah, I'm sure in Clone Wars it talks about it. I just can't remember it. There are so many generic bounty hunters in Clone Wars. You're like, all right, cool. I have to remember the important ones.
Yeah, I mean, my note here is Monster Dude versus Droid and Elf Girl.
That's about right. That's about right.
Because it was before we got her name, and I couldn't remember her name.
She is the same race as Jecki from the Acolyte. Well, except Jecki's half human, half Neelan. Kevin Nealon, something like that.
Half human, half Kevin Nealon.
So see.
But like they kill this monster thing, and Latz is like, oh fuck, he's dead. And little Lyco Jedi kid is like, yes, the loss of life is always tragic. And she's like, what?
No. It's worth more if he's alive. That's tragic.
Where the fuck you find this kid?
You fucking smell like a Jedi.
I like her thing, like, where'd you find this kid? And Asajj is like, yeah, droids are expensive.
True.
And he says, and I'm less maintenance. And she's like, yeah.
I can at least turn the droid off. Like I can reach on C-3PO and just boop, shut the fuck up.
I don't have to worry about hurting a droid's feelings.
Yeah, you dumb dick. You shit kid.
But Asajj's thing here is like, hey, we're looking for some Jedi to kill and make some money because she knows that this girl is a bounty hunter and she's not going to help her otherwise. So it's like, help me get this Imperial MacGuffin unit. And she mentions it's at this shipyard with this new ship.
It's for a new type of ship. I'm wondering if they're talking about a Super Star Destroyer or a Death Star.
So it would be what's guarding there, right? Because she's talking about trying to sneak in, and he's like, well, the Venator range detectors can do this and that.
The Venators
told me before, Venator is the...
Oh, so this is right before we do the actual... the new ship is they're getting away from Venators and into the ISDs.
Okay, so the Venators came before the regular Star Destroyers.
The Star Destroyers, yeah. Venators is Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that when he said that word? I was like, Jack said that word to me before.
Which is how he got found out, because then that chick's like, only a clone or a Jedi would know anything about the fucking Venator's range, and you don't look like a clone. You don't get a fucking clone speaking little Boba Fett. You don't sound like one either, sir.
You're not from New Zealand at all.
You're not from New Zealand. You fucking kill.
You sound American, not Kiwi.
Like a benta.
But basically, yeah, she's like, so I know you're a Jedi. Trust me, don't trust Ventriss. That bitch is crazy. And he's like, well, your hair is standing straight up, so you might be crazy as well.
Yeah, I don't believe you. All these bounty hunters. She even says, like, I don't have any friends. Because the kid's like, oh, your friend is going to help us? Like, that's not my friend.
Yeah, in this business, we don't have friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the shipyard to get the MacGuffin, and
hell breaks loose.
Dude, I love this whatever this droid is. Just like, because they're sneaking through like these tunnels or like these little trenches.
Yeah, and
the droid just kind of like gleep glops across, like the way that
General Grievous
would walk. Yeah, which he kind of, his face is similar to it. I wonder if he's like a similar.
I can look him up
droid
here.
Make.
Yeah, I can look him up.
But he sneaks up and he goes underneath this one thing, and it's a classic like road trap thing, like where someone puts like a broken down car in the road to stop you, because like there's this crawler going across. There's the big one coming that they want to stop, and there's another one going across, and he just cuts the gas line, I guess in this case, not the brake line, so that it stops running. And they're just like, this crawler's in our way, and they're like, okay, so stop the one you're in. Like, you need a command for that? Like,
just don't keep going and run into that thing. Excuse me.
But this droid gets found out by the troopers, and they have a fight. I love
he's
this droid
like he's like a royal IG unit. You know what I mean? Like a fancier IG.
Okay. I mean, because like even the head design, and it's been a minute since I've seen Grievous, but like the head design reminds me of the same build.
I mean, he's got a big
Grievous
fan on it, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's a similar, like the face and stuff. But I could be completely off base. I don't know anything about cartoons. But like the droid fights these stormtroopers, and I love that it picks up one of them and just uses it as a shield.
Oh yeah,
this dude gets.
We just saw that with
holes,
Andor.
Yeah, And when this dude gets filled with holes, he just hucks it at another dude.
It's a badass droid, man.
And someone mentioned, I think it was in one of the comments on one of our reels that we had up, that like in that Andor thing, the K2 is not worried about being shot.
Right.
He just held that thing up. He held that dude up just to be like, basically to test them, like, oh, well, are you going to shoot this guy or not? Like,
well, I don't know.
This
There's
guy's
some
going to be in trouble for
discrepancies.
me.
There's some discrepancies with the blaster resistance on a KX unit.
I saw a bunch of people talking about it in different comments, and it was like, well, in Rogue One, this KX was taken out by a blaster, but in this, and it's what it came down to was there was someone who was doing in a comment that was like, well, that was the E whatever guns they were using that couldn't take them down, but when they upgraded to the E other number guns,
but Jyn Erso does use an E11. That blows a hole right through. So maybe the ones on Gorman weren't as strong as an E11.
Or she's got the Force helping her. She
the Force,
the
dude.
Force, but it's like you always say, the Force loves a fool.
She's got a kyber crystal on her neck. It helps power the gun up more. There it is.
Yeah,
Done.
the Force goes into the crystal, and then it gets it's fine.
Flawless.
Look, Andor season 2 is perfect. Don't question it.
It's true.
And then Ventress fights a bunch of these troopers. They get put into this big ball, which is like one of those radar balls that's on top of the Star Destroyers. I recognize it.
I think it's one of the shield generators.
Shield generator, that would make sense. But I like how it gets knocked off, and they're inside of it trying to get this device, and it's rolling, and they're trying to get out, but the whole thing is rolling, and like they end up just losing the thing.
Rolling. Get out of
this
here, Fred.
This kid needs better Jedi powers.
Yeah, well, he was young when
falls,
he didn't complete his training.
You know, that thing falls, and he's like, I can still get it. And I'm like, well, you could have got it before it went into the fire.
Yeah.
But they call, and they're like, hey,
Ventress does a solid too, because she could just abandon this kid. She's like, nope, let it go. Let's fucking get out of here. We'll figure out another way. And that's when our bounty hunter is like, hey, droid, change of plans. We're getting paid. Grab the fucking Jedi.
Yeah. So he shoots Ventress to get her off the ship, takes Lyko. Obviously that doesn't stick because Asajj just jumps onto the top of the ship like she just did in the last episode and climbs inside of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And chops this droid in half. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Like it's like his upper half, and Lyko is just kind of holding him down.
I mean, we've seen
he's doing the thing where you put your hand on someone's head.
We've seen 3PO exist, and on Chewie's back as a half bot.
Yeah, I mean, he's a robot. I'm not questioning it. I'm just like, don't just cut him in half. Cut that fucking head off.
Well, especially this murder bot.
Yeah, exactly.
But then maybe she wouldn't help you because this droid's like her best friend. Like, okay. I would at least cut the arms off. I'm like, better.
Yeah, I'll cut the arms off. Here's some glue. You can fix them later.
Figure it out. You're going to have to get them glued up anyway. I chopped them in half.
So basically, she gets Lats to exchange the info she was supposed to get about the path for her life instead of for their assistance. So that's nice. And for a ride, because they get dropped off back on whatever this desert planet is.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mina Rao.
And Mina Rao is like farmy.
I guess it is.
Tatooine or Jakku, one of them.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that because these little creatures are new.
Yeah, whatever these little things are. New toys is what they're called.
Ooh, I like that.
They're riding on this like super AOP. It's not an AOP, but it has the same like body configuration.
It's just a giraffe version.
Giant chin.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the fucking Jay Leno chin on the AOP.
Hey, thanks for giving me. Let me give you a ride. Thanks for coming by. Maybe sometime you can come by and get a car. The car's pretty sweet. If you want to get a car, I don't have to walk so much. You know what I'm saying? Kevin, play me out.
I collect all kinds of sports speeders.
I got speeders. I got speeders all from Tatooine. They don't rust. If you got a speeder from Tatooine, it doesn't rust. It's nice. In the desert, there, it's dry. It's arid. Get the ones from Alderaan, but in Naboo, they always rust. Get a little wet there, just like your mother's panties.
Speaking of Naboo, I did read it was confirmed in Andor that was Naboo.
Gotcha.
So, just for you and for anybody out there who might have been wondering. But they stumble on this settlement. And this really made me laugh. These battle droids set up outside like it's Kevin McAllister's fucking house.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
It's full on battle droid bodies with like fake wooden guns.
Uh-huh.
and it's Lyco is like, oh, they're battle droids, and Asajj is like, yep, seems about as effective as usual.
Because there's all kinds of flying animals on them. Like, I don't give a fuck. She has seen these droids fail time after time.
They get shot up by a little girl with like a machine gun, which is pretty fun.
I mean, get off her lawn.
And they go in, and there's this guy, this older dude, who, if the way they present him feels like he's a character, but maybe
I
it's
felt
just a
the same
deep
way,
hole
but I
for
don't
someone.
have a name for him. He clearly was working for the Separatists because he kind of looks Republic remnant, like with that Imperial mustache. I was expecting him to be like an officer that defected, but no.
Because he says stuff that presents him as against the Empire, but he's also, this episode ends with him saying like to Asajj, like, you're among allies, you stood in Dooku's shadow and we were all grateful for it, Lady Ventriss, from the trailer, and that's how it ends. And it's like, so he's on Dooku's side, but maybe before he knew Dooku was evil, or I don't know how many people even found out Dooku was actually evil. I don't know how that all goes.
True. We talked about how many
evil
people
shit happens behind the scenes.
We talked about how many people saw lightsabers and force lightning and shit, and it's not many of them.
Yeah. All that stuff happens. Like, that's what we see as the people watching the exciting bits. But like, so that's what I couldn't quite gather. I feel like the medals they showed give it away to somebody who's a bigger nerd than me.
I think he's also just saying, like, look, I saw the work you did. Like, Dooku was the puppet head, sure, but I saw you in the trenches doing work.
Okay.
Maybe.
But yeah, he didn't seem straight up like he was like, because he's not the Empire, because he's against them. And he's obviously not full Republic if he was praising someone who was working for Dooku.
Well, and he even says, like, looks like the Republic won anyway. And she's like, no, we both got it wrong.
That's what kind of frustrated me, because he's like, turns out our side was wrong or our side was right or whatever. And she's like, oh, both sides got it wrong. He doesn't actually say what side it was. He's like, our side, your side.
He was a Separatist. That's how he got the battle droids, first of all.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
And that's what he's saying is like, we were right because look what the fucking Republic did. They became the Empire. We were right to try and secede.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. I didn't think about that. I was just, it's like after a war, it's like, well, this side was right. Well, that side was also, well, you know what? We were both wrong.
Yeah, and if he was Republic, he wouldn't have said like, "Oh, you stood in Dooku's shadows." He'd like, "You
That's
bloodied
exactly
your
what I was
fucking
thinking.
hands." Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, so he wasn't Republic, but he's not Empire, so Separatist, yeah, makes the most sense. I
Yeah.
kind of forget that the Separatists are like their whole own army, because my
it's just a
only
bunch of
experience with them,
systems.
well, my only experience with them is the prequel movies, and it's like they're
Right.
barely a presence. They're mostly talked about from the aspect of the Nemodians and Sidious using them as something to, I don't know, watching those, it's more like I just always feel like because Sidious is there, I'm like, so there's a Republic and then there's Sidious, that means Empire.
Yeah.
But it starts with the Separatists, which turns into the Empire.
Confederate independent systems.
Confederate, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna have to topple that mustache guy statue.
Hey, that was for heritage, not hatred, dude.
So next one is like, hey, my granddaughter here, she can help you find Cypher Canyon that you're looking for because it's not on any map. But you have to go help her get water from the spring. This whole arc felt very much like a video game. Like you go to someone there, it's like, okay, well, you need to find this person. So you get to them and they're like, I'll help you if you help me with this.
Even the
And then you do that.
even the Inquisitor fight, it's like a boss level where you almost get killed, but your buddy, like you do just enough health that they trigger the cutscene that it's the guy stabbing him through the back.
Yeah. It's one of those bosses where you're not supposed to beat them.
Oh, I wanted to say something about that. Like, we're going to wrap up and have final thoughts anyway, but she's the opposite of an Inquisitor. She started out bad and then went ultimately good and is not all that fucking strong anyway.
Okay.
Like that's her whole arc and why this is happening. And she's good. That's what her purpose, I think, is going to be, is to try and right some of those wrongs that she did. So instead of hunting Jedi, she'll be helping Jedi.
Okay.
Just my guess on that. I don't know where they're going to go from here.
So they take this speeder out to go get water. And you know what? This is one thing, speaking of the animation we were talking about earlier, the water in this and the earlier episode, the first one, looks like water.
Yeah, they struggle with people. Everything else, I think, looks great, dude. Like the ships, the designs of the city. It's the people, and I'm more used to it than you are now. When I first started on the Clone Wars, I think it was like my very first 1080 TV. I was like, I want to watch some fucking Star Wars and like just have it pop. So I put on some Clone Wars to like watch a lightsaber duel, and not disappointed with the duels. That's why I kept watching. I was like, well, fuck, dude, this is not a bad story.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier about the character design. Is it's cartoony. It's not realistic looking, which is fine. It's a cartoon, but like it's surprising how good like the water and stuff looks in this cartoon. That's not the highest quality of animation. You know what I mean? And I agree. This is when we're at Disney money and Disney level, so it's a little better animation wise, but. They go to get this water, and I'm like, that looks so refreshing. Like, I don't. Oh, yeah. I'm not a big fan of bodies of water. I don't even like swimming, but I would jump in that hole.
Oh, I'd fucking grab a cup full, splash it in my hungover face.
But yeah, they're loading up water. I'm assuming the speeder gets wrecked because they put too much water on it, or he sets it down too hard.
Yeah, it's an old busted speeder, and you closed the door wrong, so the hubcap fell off.
It's making that. Anakin pod racer noise as they're driving down through the canyon there. It's like, oh, that's Sebulba.
Yeah.
That broken down ass noise. Yeah. So it breaks down. These Raider guys show up, and yeah, they're kind of like battle Jawas.
Yeah. Okay. I like
until
that.
we see their faces, because they're little tiny dudes.
You've never seen
wearing
Jawa's face, armor. Dude.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, until we see their faces, that's what they kind of remind me of. It's like if Jawas threw on armor instead of hoods
and started going to battles instead of scavenging shit.
Yeah. So there's a big chase scene that's really fun. Like, we won't go through that.
Right.
You get revealed that they're little blue guys mostly. There's a couple purple
little
ones,
lizard people.
Yeah, and
little mini Trandoshans.
She crashes, the granddaughter crashes the speeder, knocks some of these dudes off, but they get surrounded, and it turns out Lyko can understand them because he has Jedi sympathy or whatever.
Force power. That's because she's been giving him shit the whole time for like, oh, you're a Jedi, you stink like a Jedi, you act like a Jedi, you think like one. But then when it comes down to it, it's him being a Jedi that saves the day. With maybe there's some force power I don't know about that you just understand language. You know, and they could easily invent that. Why not? They invented the one that Quinlan Vos has when he touches an item, he can see all the past and stuff. Made him a great detective.
Yeah, I mean that's there's people who claim they can do that now.
I mean, Rey pretty much has it when she grabs Luke's lightsaber, so why not make Force understand, Force babble?
You said Rey, and I thought about that meme that you sent me earlier. With the conclusion of Rise of Skywalker. I am all the Sith. I am all the Jedi. And Andor, I'm a tourist.
I'm a tourist because I can hear it in his voice, dude.
I saw it made me laugh even more because I saw another video earlier that friend of our other show,
Zip?
Bad Movies, Worst People, Zip had sent me.
He sent me that one too.
Okay.
I am all the Jedi. The fuck you are. You're a really poorly written character.
Yeah, all the ghosts, like what is it?
Jar Jar Binks had better lines than you.
You're just a pile of pixels that's waste of space on screen.
Yeah, fucking Liam Neeson's just like Jar Jar Binks had more character development than you.
Yeah. But yeah, basically he discovers like, actually we're stealing their water. And I'm like, well, yeah, you went to their water and took it.
Yeah, why was this a big mystery?
But I think it's more like, because we see when they go back to the grandfather here, and he's like, no, I have just as much right to that water as they do. So I think it comes down to like, maybe it's a it's a cultural place for them, something like that.
Oh, yeah. It could easily be like a sacred place. He had, on the inside of his apartment or his house, whatever, his shanty, he had 3 or so masks of these guys on the wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, so he's just, I mean, I think it's cowboys and indigenous people from our fucking history, like, hey, I want those resources and I'm going to shoot them.
Yeah. Well, that's what it comes down to. It's just a misunderstanding of cultures, because he pulls out the gun and sees them. And so he doesn't fire, but he's like, this is war. And Asajj is the one who steps up, and she's like, no, you've just been fighting for so long that you can't see any other way.
Right.
Like, so he stops and he listens. It's off camera, but like, obviously Lyko helped them negotiate some kind of treaty so that he can get water and stop killing them.
All right, look, we're going to keep the water, and every couple days we come piss in your mouth. You say thank you, and then we will say you're welcome.
Look, we will give you as much water as you want, but we're taking your granddaughter because she's the same height.
She's
as
the
us.
right height. She's the right height for us. She must be an adult. I couldn't see how she could be a child at that height. She's an enormous child.
So one of these little dudes takes them off to a cave, or like a
Cipher
crack
Canyon,
crack in the
I'm guessing.
wall. Yeah. It's not a cave, because they get in there and there's a whole nother canyon back there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where we see the Path ship. And Asajj is like, look, I'm not going. This is your path. You're a good Jedi. You deserve this. And Lyko goes off to join them. And she goes to leave. And on her way out, she sees the ship taking off. And then she hears like, hey, Miss Asajj Ventriss. And she's like, oh my God, I didn't get rid of that fucking kid.
Hey, Mrs. Ventriss, wait for me. My legs are little.
She's like, fucking Huey, Dewey, and Louie are still following me back here.
Yeah. I'd be pissed. I'm like, what the fuck did we just do all this for?
Right?
Now
this entire
what?
thing had no point other than the meeting.
So I'm going to have to look up and we'll talk about it on the next episode. Go ahead.
Really quick, the last line just made me laugh, because she says, I wish you were on that ship. And he's like, is that anything to say to your friend? And it's like,
it's what you said. It's what you said. Like, I've broken you down.
Yeah.
We're friends now.
Exactly.
I don't care, like it or not. I'm going to have to look up the timeline between this and Bad Batch, because this kid's not in Bad Batch, but she does have this hair. She has the same outfit, yellow lightsaber. So, and I don't want to spoil anything for you for Bad Batch of why she's there, but maybe this is her, like, she helped him. She got him away from all this. Okay. Did you ever finish that second Jedi game?
No, I didn't even finish the first one.
So the whole point of the second one is Cal Kestis finds a planet that is like, hidden from everybody and like almost impossible to get to unless you have this certain MacGuffin kind of thing. And like the whole a Jedi wayfinder, but like the whole idea behind this is that he wants to use as a refuge. He wants to take people here. Like the Path could set up here. They never did anything with it, so it's still available, and she could be helping that.
Okay, I enjoyed that game, but like the gameplay, the fighting was it wasn't super intuitive, and I think I just kind of fell off. And I was like, I'll play it tomorrow. And
I ended up putting it on easy, just so I could play the story, because the combat was just so unfun. I get it, what you're supposed to do. It's like block, parry, dodge, block. And I'm just like, but that takes forever. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I guess because you're supposed to fight like a Jedi, not a Sith, right?
You're supposed to fight like an untrained Jedi.
Yeah.
You're learning as you go. But it's a really well done story written by the same guy that did this.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I didn't even think about that connection. They could easily be doing it, setting up that fucking planet, because here we have the Path, which was, written in by somebody else, but you got Quinlan Vos and her, and it's all leading into the shit that he wrote. Ooh, I'm excited now. Go play that game.
Jedi Fallen Order 3, and you get to play as Asajj Ventriss.
The third one's coming out probably next year, and it's gonna be the final one.
Okay.
And if I get to play as Asajj Ventriss, hold on to my underwear, because I'm not going to need them.
Jack, do you need these?
Where we're going, we don't need chonies. Great Scott, Marty. He's been masturbating all day. 88 times an hour.
You just leave the bedroom, your underwear's on the ground spinning like a license plate.
Oh man. There's some flame tracks running down my balls.
Jack, your bed's on fire.
I know.
Oh, god damn it. Okay. So I do like final thoughts and wrap up.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first since I don't know
I do
anything,
want you
or-
to go first because you're the one that has the less knowledge of Asajj, like almost none, right?
Yeah, pretty much none. I mean, what
Yeah.
you've told me basically is what I
Right.
know of her.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it more at the beginning than at the end. The conclusion, I felt like I said earlier, it's like we moved this piece from here to here, but nothing really happened. Like, all we really did was hook her up with this kid Lyco, which doesn't tie into her later appearance. So like, maybe they have something planned in between. Book, comic book, TV show, fucking VR experience, augmented reality, cell phone game. I don't know what they've got going on.
I think
Disney-
I think there's another Disney cartoon in the works, and it's going to be with her, if not her.
Okay. I mean, this feels like they're trying to tie it into something. And I haven't watched the second half yet, but this particular story arc feels like it's like
Second
let's
half
bridge
has
the gap.
nothing to do with this.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if it feels more like a complete story, because this
Much more.
That's my biggest problem is this doesn't feel like a complete story.
This is the next one's much more of a complete story. This is a weird one. You nailed it with moving piece to here.
But we got a really cool lightsaber battle. We got a cool shootout with the stormtroopers.
Good chase scene on the
our
speeder.
Jedi and stuff. We got the great speeder chase in the last one. So like, there's a lot of fun action. It was fun to watch. The animation is markedly improved. Like I said, the character design hasn't changed. So if the character design bothers you, then it's not going to work. And the character design isn't my favorite, but with the improvement in the animation, the character design is a secondary thing to me. Like, I can still enjoy watching it. So I had a good time with it. I think it was fun. I just feel like I need to understand why anything is what it is.
I honestly feel like this exists to set her up for something, but more importantly, to show how she came back. That first scene was all they really, really needed.
Yeah, like they could have just kind of done the first episode and been like, that's Tales of the Underworld for her.
Mm-hmm. And just done some other. They didn't have anybody else. Like I did. We'll talk about the next one too. But the Cade Bane choice is weird.
Yeah, like maybe they just didn't have 6 people to write stories about that they would consider Underworld people, even though there's a bunch of them. But and then
so
what
easily.
do you think?
I liked it. It's just, I mean, it's not enough. It's what now? And it's just how I feel. I really like the story. I like to get more Asajj Ventriss. I like her having a redemption arc. Star Wars is a story of redemption. Always will be. The lightsaber fucking action is top notch. I was really happy to hear you say that because you will enjoy, if not Clone Wars Rebels, for that same reason. So I'm excited to see what they do next with her. I just don't know when that's going to be. I want an Underworld video game, dude. I want an open world bounty hunter game, essentially a better version of Starfield, but Star Wars characters, ships, weapons. That would be awesome.
Like Star Wars Outlaws, but like
actually open world.
But not bad. Yeah, like I haven't played it, but I've not heard great things about it.
Yeah.
So that's it for this discussion. We'll have another discussion about the other half of Tales of the Underworld in a week or two. The only reason I say a week or two is because the next episode should be the first half of our discussion on Return of the Jedi, but we had some technical difficulties. We recorded a massive episode that I thought was a really good episode.
Felt good.
We had a really major technical problem. I'm doing my best to rescue it from the underworld, as it were.
Nice.
So that may come out next, or we might have to just redo Return of the Jedi, which
will be a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to watch. I just don't really want to talk about it for another 3 hours. That all of a sudden we have a 40-minute episode. So.
True.
Because that was a long one. It, just like all of our main movie episodes have been.
Yeah.
3+ hours. So I'm doing my best. I'll keep you guys updated. But we will at least be discussing the Cade Bane story arc on Tales of the Underworld.
Oh, Boba Fett.
That'll either be the next thing or in 2 weeks. And then, or you'll see Return of the Jedi. So we're working on it. Thank you guys. If you want early access, usually to our content, not this current content of new stuff, but for Han Took Shots First, when we do the movies and we do the TV shows that have been previously released, we put them out early, ad-free, uncut, on our Patreon for our other show. Well, actually, it's just a Patreon for our production label here, basically, right? Our network, as it were. Patreon.com/worstpeople. It's $3 a month. You get early access to that. Plus, you get a bunch of extra content from our other show. So if you want to hear us make really inappropriate jokes, you do that. It's $3 a month.
Pretty inappropriate.
It costs more than $3 a month to go to the bar and hear people say the same shit we're saying.
Ooh, let's go do that.
All right. So I've been Derrick.
I'm Jack. Be more effective than a battle droid.
Yeah, I try.